Hola, hola, bitches. I don't know exactly what I'm talking about here, but I would like to believe that I've done some, well, I don't have to believe, I know I have done some, a little bit more of a deeper dive on this new NVG 291 drug that seems to be making a bit of a splash. It is a drug in theory that is supposed to be doing nerve regeneration. Give me a sec, babe, just doing a quick video thing. Nerve regeneration. I don't really know a lot about it, but I am willing to learn. And the fact that it's in phase 3, and it's a very distinct possibility that the entire trial may be coming to West Orange here in New Jersey. And God knows, if I have my way, I'm going to be smack dab in the middle of it. Stick around, this could be interesting. So, told you I would talk about the latest hope for a spinal cord cure. It is a drug that is being tried as we speak. It's gone through phase 1 and phase 2. The drug is called NVG 291. It is a drug that was developed by a Dr. Jerry Silver, who decided to make it his life's work to reverse spinal cord injury. Yes, that is quite a hill to climb. As I said, made it his life's work. They're finding very positive results in rats. You know, human beings are not rats. So, you know, I'm not pessimistic. I'm not truly optimistic. Neither of those. This is more of a realistic look at what we have going on here. At least, from my opinion. I have not been involved in this trial. I have been watching it very closely for the last... They started trials at the Shirley Ann Ryan Center for Rehabilitation in Chicago, Illinois. Those trials have been going on for over 3 years now. The first trial, they boasted showing improved grasp. They're reporting improvements of over 825%. Don't know how they calibrate that. There's a lot of things I am hopeful about. But once again, I've been involved with research now for quite some time. And whenever you have a research study that is looking to get to the next level, they focus on the positive. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm looking forward to getting involved in this. If I can. Can't really say that at all, but however, that's a story for another day right now. This drug was developed by Dr. Jerry Silver. I told you, made it his life's work to regenerate spinal cord nerves. That's a big dream. Is it fact? Is it not fact? Once again, I don't know. They completed phase 2 of the trial. There is no information released at this point in time that I'm aware of. If you do know it, let me know what's going on. Send me a link, please. They are now beginning phase 3. The fact that they've made it to phase 3 is a promising point. This drug is interesting in and of itself. When the spinal cord is injured, first off, it's very difficult for the body to regenerate spinal cord nerves. The body is highly protective of the brain and the spinal cord. It's encased in a form of a dura, which is a membrane that goes around everything, and in order to penetrate this, certain cells have to get to certain places in order to regenerate. If you break a finger, it's not really protected. The body allows, platelet-rich, oxygen-rich red blood, and also stem cell-rich cells that are repair cells that can actually repair the body. If you get a cut, that's why it heals. And typically, at a point of healing, that part is actually stronger than the original bone or the original skin piece or whatever the repair is. And what you see when you get a cut in a repair, that's called glial tissue. That's a scar. That's a protective covering that the body generates. Here's the problem with spinal cord. After it gets injured, the body goes into protect mode, repair mode to a degree. That's one of the reasons that you see results that are still functional up to about 2 years after your injury. It's one of the reasons it's so important, if you're recently injured, that you get moving. You've got to fucking move. You've got to send the signals going from the brain down the spinal cord and everything to keep those connections open to the best of your ability. Problem is, for the first year, you don't know what the fuck is going on. So it's a little difficult, to will yourself. An injury of this magnitude has a tendency to not only beat you up physically, it will beat you up emotionally, it will beat you up spiritually, it will destroy your willpower. And it's understandable. That's one of the reasons that they want to get you involved with therapy as quickly as they can. Big problem is insurance companies rate everything on the amount of improvement that you get. And because spinal cord injury repair and improvement is so slow, that they typically they won't cover additional therapies unless you continue to get another script from a doctor, and you got to keep beating it up. You got to go like hell. This is not a very forgiving injury, and you have to be stronger and better and work harder than you ever have, and you have to continue to do whatever you can in order to take back improvement. It doesn't just simply come back. The body will regenerate to a degree with the spinal cord. However, if you're not assisting, good fucking luck. Now, am I optimistic about this? Yes, I am. Absolutely. In theory, once we get through phase 3, which, as I said, I do believe is happening right now, I'm not there, so I really don't know. Can't find any real information on this. You can apply over at Shirley Ryan to find out what's going on. Have done. I was actually originally accepted into the phase 1 trial, but for me to get to Chicago and then afford, lodging, mad cash, it would have taken a Herculean effort. And there was little known about it at the time. So I am optimistic at phase 3. It may be coming to other sites. It's been fast-tracked by the FDA for approval. Now, just because it's been fast-tracked doesn't mean it's going to happen fast. Nothing happens fast. Nothing in medicine happens fast. However, yes, optimism, much optimism. The way this drug works is that it's able to breach the brain-blood barrier, the blood-brain barrier, get into the cranial cavity work its way down through the spinal cord. It manifests itself in the entire area. And one of the things that it does, it's able to circumvent the body's protective glial tissue, get in underneath, and in theory regenerate the nerves. Now it doesn't have to regenerate if you got busted up here. It doesn't have to regenerate all the way down to the bottom. There's only a small lesion that it needs to actually regenerate. So that's very positive. That's once again, it's one of the reasons for my optimism. You know, is it possible? They have been working on bridging an injury. They have been working on. I've been doing all sorts of shit, man, and I desperately try to get myself involved. You know, I start a trial over in Hoboken, dealing with virtual reality on Thursday. Today is Tuesday, so I'll keep you up to speed on how the whole thing goes. I just found out that I'll be able to take video, so that's cool. Then I start another trial the week after, dealing once again with blood pressure. I had been involved with the sort of like the phase 1 of that. Now they have a follow-up. I don't know how extensive it is or how extensive it is, and it's a drug trial. I don't really have a lot of problems with blood pressure as much as I used to, so you know, I'm just sort of being involved in this just to keep my name in the hat, keep keep in the game. And one of the sites that they're going to be, in theory, going to be testing NVG 291 is Kessler Institute here in West Orange. I know the principal investigator. I will certainly find out who is going to be running the trial, what doctor is going to be taking that over. And I'm going to do my damnedest to get my fat fucking ass involved in this shit. Like I say, good, bad, or indifferent, that's not my concern. If I can get an insider's look at this and find out what the reality is and what the reality is not, that's what I'm going to do my best to do. So, if and when it was up to me, it would only be a matter of time that this shit hits the fan. I intend on being right there in the middle of the fucking war. You know, I haven't been doing research now for, 13 years to sit idly on the sideline. I've been away from research for a little while, not that long. But however, I had to take a break a little bit. The last trial I was really involved in, not that it left a bad taste in my mouth, but it was just long, arduous. They wouldn't let me take any video. I couldn't, it's just... Did I have positive results? Transcutaneous stimulation? I would say I had decent results. I feel as if I have more strength in my core. I've been working on that, so we're going to see what happens with this whole thing. But as I get information, I will release it to you to the best of my knowledge and be as truthful as I can. I'll leave links in the description box below. And all I can tell you is I'm on the case, kids. If there's a possibility of this shit going to be anywhere near me, rest assured. I'm going to use his fucking mouth as a weapon. I'm going to do whatever I can do by hell and high water. If there is a crack of a possibility for me to worm my ass in there, rest a fucking assured. Listen, kid, Angry Quad signing off. Yee-ba-da-dee-ba-da-dee. That's all, folks. Angry Quad, over and out. I'll keep you up to speed.